It was fillers. They said it was bad plastic surgery. They said it was bad karma. They turned her face into a punchline, a meme. But what if they were wrong? What if the problem wasn't cosmetic, but medical? Brandi Glanville says that one of her 20-year-old silicone breast implants has ruptured and leaked, and silicone may have migrated into her lymph nodes. People gonna talk about that right here in the suite, y'all. Give me about 51 seconds for my intro to play, and I'll be right back. But I want to get into Brandi Glanville's implants rupturing, and is that what happened to our girl's face? 51 seconds, be right back. Since the beginning of times, beauty salons and barbershops have had a special place in the hearts of the industry professionals and the patrons alike. We can all remember trips to the shop, special moments made, conversations had, and lessons learned. From politics to pop culture, the latest gossip, love and relationships, and social movements, it's all talked about. Lifelong friendships are created, networks are built, ideas are shared, and politicians are made or broken. Our power is great, our reach is wide. This is the place where we all shine, from the beginning to the end of times. Let's keep the conversation alive. Join me in my suite from your suite, and let's talk about the tea. Welcome back to the suite. My name is Tanya and I'm your host. This is Sweet Tea, where we talk about all kind of things that go on in the hair salons, barbershops, in the beauty world, and in our world, because our clients are our world, and we are the public, we are the community, we are everyone. So being that I work with so many women, and we talk about cosmetic surgery quite a bit, and Brandi Glanville has been a topic of conversation for a good minute. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. Brandi Glanville has been a topic of conversation, and her face, y'all, her face, Lord have mercy. The girl went from, looking like this here to looking like this. And so Brandi Glanville is saying that one of her 20-year-old silicone breast implants has completely ruptured. And that leak, one second, my little brother. Hello? Hey, I'm good. How are you? Okay, I'll call you back in a few minutes, okay? I didn't want nothing important. Yeah, I said I'll call you back in a few minutes, okay? All right, bye. That's my baby brother. My baby brother that's 40 years old, but he's still my baby. But anyways, Brandi Glanville is saying that one of her silicone implants may have leaked, and that the silicone may have migrated. Let me cut this phone on silent. The silicone may have migrated into her lymph nodes. Y'all, that's crazy. That is crazy. Think about how many people have breast implants. Think about how many people have silicone breast implants. And if this could happen to Brandi, this could happen to anyone. So for years, people have speculated. Tonight, we're going to separate the internet rumors from the FDA guidelines, okay? And we're talking about what every woman with implants should actually know. And if you guys know someone with implants, y'all share this video. This isn't just about Brandi, this is about women's health, okay? And so what I found in the FDA recommendation surprised me. Like, it really, really did, okay? So Brandi, according to Brandi, one implant had fully ruptured and the other was leaking. She believes silicone migrated into her lymphatic system. The lymphatic system actually carries all of the fluids through your body, through your body. And so that's why if someone has cancer or is diagnosed with any form of cancer, that the detection is done early before it gets into the lymph nodes, and the lymph nodes carry those cancer cells all through the body, okay? So what Brandi is saying is that one of her silicone implants ruptured, and that the silicone migrated into her lymphatic system, and that it's clogging lymph nodes, or contributing to the inflammation that affected her face. After repeatedly seeing 20 doctors over several years, including Terry Dubrow from Botched. She went and saw Terry Dubrow about this, about her face, thinking that it was botched cosmetic surgery, just trying to get some answers. She says that this sonogram that she just recently had finally gave her answers. Now, let's be clear. This is Brandi's account. There is no universal medical consensus stating that ruptured implants directly can ruin someone's face like they did Brandi's. However, the silicone migration and lymphatic complications are documented possibilities when implants rupture. And that is a big deal because so many women have silicone implants, okay? And not just for cosmetic reasons. A lot of women have silicone implants for reconstructive surgery, breast cancer reconstruction, things like that as well. So it's not always about vanity or cosmetic reasons. And even if it was, that doesn't mean that you should deserve to have your face ruined. No one deserves that, okay? Not even Brandi. And we know Brandi can be Brandi. Brandi's behavior has definitely been suspect, but she doesn't deserve that, okay? So now whether you like Brandi or not, this part does matter, because if what she's saying is true, this isn't just about a reality star. It's not just about Brandi. It's about something called silent rupture. And most women don't even know what that is. And that's the reality. So silent rupture happens if a just silicone gel implant ruptures. You might notice changes in breast size or shape. You might feel pain, tenderness, swelling, numbness, burning, or tingling. In fact, I have a little graphic here that will kind of tell you some of the symptoms or some of the things that compare silicone to saline. One thing about saline implants, salines like saline water. So if saline implants rupture, first of all, they're going to deflate, okay? And it's going to happen a lot faster than silicone. Silicone can rupture and it can leak in your system over years. It's going to take a long time for it to actually leak and for you to actually notice a physical difference, okay? But that numbness, the burning, the tingling, those are things that you might notice. You might not notice anything at all. And that's why it's called a silent rupture. And so this is what Brandi is claiming to have had, a silent rupture. And here's the part that shocked me. A woman could be getting regular mammograms every year and still not know her implant has ruptured. You heard that? She can be getting regular mammograms every year and still not know that her implant has ruptured. Because mammograms are actually the least accurate way to detect a silicone gel implant rupture. That's crazy, because we think that if we just do the right things, we get our implants, we get our mammograms every year, that we will not only be able to detect cancer, but also anything with our breast health. And our breast health is so important. And this is not in any way, I'm not in any way saying not to get your mammograms. You have to get mammograms. That is so important, whether you have silicone gel implants or natural breasts. I myself am a breast cancer survivor. Praise God. I was diagnosed at 37 years old. And this is before I had ever even had a mammogram. I felt the lump. So any changes in our breasts is so important that we notify our doctors. Any changes at all, whatever is not normal to you is not normal. So I don't care what it is, whatever is not normal to you is not normal. So even though mammograms might not necessarily detect a rupture in a silicone gel implant, they're still so important, because early detection saves lives. Early detection saves lives. I repeat, early detection saves lives. So whether we're talking about implants, if something happened to our face or whatever the case is, we got to get those mammograms too. But just know that a mammogram is the least reliable way of detecting a silicone gel implant rupture. Okay. FDA guidelines say, okay, so because most women don't notice ruptures, the FDA recommends MRI monitoring for silicone implants. MRI monitoring, okay? When implants were first approved, the FDA advised MRIs every 3 years after surgery. And then, 3 years after surgery, and then every 2 years after that. In 2020, the recommendation was updated to MRI 5 to 6 years after your initial implants, and then every 2 to 3 years after that. And that's because of insurance and stuff. Okay. So the reality of it is MRIs are expensive. Insurance coverage varies, and many women never follow through unless they have symptoms. But you guys, I'm telling you guys, advocacy is key. If we as women do not advocate for ourselves, it's going to advocate for us. I cannot stress how important that is. Advocacy is key. If there's ever a time to find your voice, it's when it comes to your own health. Okay. So we can't be little meek, play nice, and abide by everybody tells us when it comes to our health. We have to advocate for our health. So advocacy is key. Self-advocacy is key. So again, you have symptoms, people really aren't following through with this. And you guys, let me tell y'all something else too. I don't give a shit what the FDA recommends as far as getting your MRIs every 2 to 3 years after you've had the surgery. If you feel something, you say something. If something doesn't feel right, you say something. That bra start fitting differently, you say something, okay? Once one is feeling smaller than the other one, you need to say something, because you could be having silicone gel migrating through your body. Okay, you end up like Brandi. You'll end up like this. So we're not doing that. Okay, we're going to stick up for ourselves. We're going to advocate for ourselves, and we're not going to take no for an answer until we find out what is going on with us. Okay, so what happens if the silicone does leak? If silicone implants rupture, doctors generally recommend removing them as soon as possible. That's why early detection is key. Okay, the longer silicone remains in the body, the more opportunity it has to migrate to surrounding tissue or lymph nodes. And once it gets in those lymph nodes, it can go all over your body. According to research reviewed by FDA scientists, women with leaking implants had higher rates of chronic fatigue, joint and muscle pain, brain fog, hair loss, skin rashes, hormonal imbalances, and some women even report, thank God, improvement after removal. Y'all remember when Tamra Judge had her implants removed? She said she felt so much better. Yolanda Habib had her implants removed. Danica Kirkpatrick, the NASCAR driver, had her implants removed because they all felt sick. The singer SZA had her implants removed because they all had breast cancer illness, what they call breast cancer illness. So it's a big deal, y'all, to advocate for yourselves. Vanity is never worth it. It's never worth your health at the end of the day. It's never worth your health. However, even with that being said, research is still ongoing regarding what many refer to as this breast cancer illness that these women have all claimed to have had, and not all physicians agree on mechanisms. But it's also important to note, that this is a women's health issue. And traditionally, women's health issues have been put on the back burner, minimized and neglected. So when someone says that it's not breast implant illness is something that some doctors probably don't even believe exists, but I can guarantee you those doctors are not women. So not all physicians can agree on mechanisms as far as breast implant illness. And that's just, it gets on my nerves, okay? And this is where the conversation gets uncomfortable, because for years, the internet reduced this to bad fillers, okay? But what if this wasn't about vanity at all? What if this was something silently happening inside her body and she had no idea that it was happening? And it just makes me wonder if it migrated anywhere else, or was it just to her face? Like, did she have these silicone clumps in other parts of her body, you know? And so that changes the narrative, because that's a medical issue and not a vanity issue. And Brandi built her career in a world where appearance is currency. Appearance is everything. On reality television, youth and perfection aren't just optional. Like, it's expected for you to be pretty. It's expected for you to have it going on. So when something like this happens and it shifts physically and it becomes public, like, that is like, you know, and it becomes public debate, like, I could only imagine what she was going through. For years, she faced the side-by-side comparison photos like we see right here, the memes, and just the constant mocking, the comment sections, digesting her face or dissecting her face. And And then she also faced people saying it was her karma, because we all know Brandi can be controversial. Brandi got a mouth on her. She absolutely does, but nobody deserves to have their face ruined. Nobody deserves that. And now she's saying this may not have even been cosmetic. Like, this could have been medical the whole time. So, whether you believe Brandi or not, this story just opens up a bigger conversation. And I think that women need to be asking themselves, are we being properly educated about the long-term implant monitoring? She had these bad boys in for 20 years. And I know that it's recommended that you have them replaced at least every 10 years. So, you got to think about that too. They were 10 years expired. Like, come on, Brandi. Like, breast implants are one of the least expensive cosmetic surgeries you can have. And with her being a celebrity and having different platforms, I'm sure that she could have had sponsorship deals or a surgeon that would have been more happy to give her new implants where she didn't have to have them in her body for 20 freaking years. Like, come on, Brandi. And it makes me wonder when the last time was she had an MRI on them or a mammogram or anything, because of the fact that she's been dealing with this for several years. So was she following those FDA guidelines of getting those MRIs every 2 or 3 years? How many people just assume that mammograms are enough? Like, how many women with implants are actually following the recommendations for long-term implant monitoring, and how many people assume that mammograms are enough? Because I know I probably would have. How quickly do we turn medical struggles into memes, y'all? Think about this with even, there's so many people that celebrities, and we think it's okay to dissect their appearance and talk about how they look physically without considering that there could be something medical going on. So if you have implants, if you have you ever had an MRI for them? Have you ever had an MRI for your implants? Like, let me know in the comment. Did your doctor even discuss like silent rupture, the symptoms of it, or what to look out for? Like, let's talk about it, but let's do it respectfully in the comments, okay? This isn't about tearing someone down. It's not about tearing Brandi down. It doesn't matter about how we feel about her. It's about asking bigger and better questions for ourselves as women in women health, because I don't understand how a woman like Brandi Glanville went 20 years with implants when the FDA recommendation is that you have them replaced every decade or every 10 years, and how she saw 20 different doctors, the best of the best, including Terry DeBro, and did not cross any of their minds that this could have been caused from her silicone implants. And if it didn't cross any of their minds, it makes you wonder about how educated the doctors are on silent rupture and the causes of it and the results of it. It makes you wonder. So, to Brandi, I really hope that we're going to keep Brandi in our thoughts and prayers and send her good vibes, and hope that getting them removed is an option, and that hopefully that helps to clear her face up. And we're going to pray that they did not get in her lymph nodes and travel to anywhere else in her body, and that she can get this all cleared up now that she has what she believes to be a cause. So yeah. Good vibes to Brandi. We're going to send Brandi good vibes. Good vibes to Brandi Glanville. And again, if there's any other woman out there with silicone implants, get your implants checked. Get the MRIs. Because again, mammograms are the least reliable way to detect silicone rupture. So we need to get MRIs every 2 to 3 years. And y'all need to share this video with anyone who any woman that has breast implants. Bring it back to your hair salon, bring it back to your suite. Talk to your stylist about this particular issue, because she can then talk to so many other women. That's how this works, okay? So I know in my suite, when I get valuable information like this, like, I will definitely share it. So it's important that we do that and that we look out for each other and that we advocate for ourselves. Okay, ladies? Any changes in our breasts, we feel something, we say something. We don't let it go. We don't try to diagnose ourselves. Okay? This is coming from myself, a thank God 8-year breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at 37 years old. So I know the importance of self-advocacy, and I know the importance of mammograms. I know the importance of early detection and speaking up for yourselves, ladies. If we don't learn anything else from this, we got to learn to know our own tatas. Okay? Because if all that silicone got in her face, you know those breasts were not feeling the same. The silicone came out of the breast and went into her face. You know the breast had to have changes. So she reported the changes in her breast. We could have figured this out a long time ago. And that's where advocacy matters. That's where prioritizing ourselves and our health matters. Okay, so if we didn't learn anything else from Brandi Glanville's situation, we have learned that advocacy matters and to speak up for ourselves and stand up for ourselves. Okay. Until next time, you guys, from my sweet to your sweet. If you're not subscribed, let me tell y'all that too. Video, don't forget to like the video, share the video with a friend, hype it up, put it in the algorithm, because people need to hear this particular guidance, not just what happened, but what the guidance really says, so that we can learn from Brandi's mistakes. Okay, so like the video, share the video, hype it up, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments if you have ever had an MRI, or if you ever experienced silent rupture, or if you ever had your implants removed, or anything else you want to talk about in the comments. I would love to read your comments, and I'll see you guys next time. From my sweet to your sweet. Good night, beautiful.